It's a beautiful night for bourbon. As always, it's another beautiful night for bourbon, and, well, I've got bourbon. Tonight, what I'm drinking is Long Branch. Now, if you watched my wild turkey video, you know that I did a blind tasting of several different of the wild turkey iterations. And you'll also know that the Long Branch finished in last place. What you might remember is that it was also the lowest proof of the wild turkeys. Well, that doesn't mean it isn't any good. Doesn't mean that I don't like it. It just doesn't stack up to their other bourbons, or at least anything higher in proof. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to take a look at different distilleries, Wild Turkey being one of them. I want to do blind tastings of various of their whiskeys, their bourbons, their ryes, and I want to try and compare them against each other. But I also want to do single product reviews, because if I've learned one thing about drinking bourbon, it's that the flavors, the aromas, and so on are not consistent from night to night. And part of the reason is because the flavors and the aromas are affected considerably by what you've had to eat or drink immediately preceding your experiencing the bourbon. And here I am comparing this bourbon to other bourbons of higher proof, even though they are the same distillery and the mash mash bill. It just really isn't doing that bourbon any real justice. It might help determine the value, it might help determine what you want to spend, but what happens if you just drink that bourbon a couple hours after dinner and you haven't had anything else and you're not comparing it to anything else? Will it stack up? Well, this is a very light golden amber. I wouldn't even call it a copper color, certainly not bronze. It's very light. Even a clover honey, I think, is darker colored than this. And that probably has to do with the amount of water put into the bourbon to proof it down to 86 proof. And that's what Long Branch actually is. Now, Long Branch is a collaboration between the Russells and Matthew McConaughey. So it's one of these celebrity bourbons. I've had one or two of them, most notably Bob Dylan's Heaven's Door. It was okay, not a bad bourbon. The Long Branch is another one of these celebrity bourbons. And my experience with celebrity bourbons is that, well, they're just overpriced. And I can't remember offhand. I'll have to look it up and maybe I'll put it in a little text box up here. But I can't remember what I paid for this, but I do believe that it is more expensive than the Wild Turkey 101, which I liked better in my other videos. So let me give this a little bit of a sniff here. Yeah, it's got a nice light aroma. There's a little bit of fruitiness there, a lot of caramel there, some vanilla, a slight spiciness, a little bit of oak. There's even a light smokiness to this, but it all seems to be rather muted. And you can see that I'm getting my nose all the way into that glass and I'm taking a deep breath and I'm not getting a lot of ethanol there. It's not bothering me, so the 86 proof shines through. You know it's not a higher proof bourbon. Let me give it a taste. Yeah, it goes down really easy. first roll over the tongue, you get a little bit of that caramel sweetness, a little bit of honey in there, a little vanilla. Goes back over the palate, it turns into cinnamon and a little bit of spiciness. You get that oaky dryness. I'm left actually trying to create some saliva in my mouth. It's a little bit dry. But it's a pleasant sipping bourbon. I wouldn't turn this down if somebody offered it to me. If you wanted to buy me one at a bar, sure, why not? But is it something that I really want to pay for and drink? Well, not really. I mean, if I'm going to spend the money, there are better bourbons out there. For less money, there's better wild turkey bourbon out there. So I can't really see doing this again, but it's a fun experience. And really the only reason I bought it was so that I could review it and make it part of that wild turkey video. So there you have it. If you like my videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Do you like Long Branch? What do you think of celebrity bourbons in general? Thanks for watching, and y'all come back now. You hear?